to the investor group that's coming in. You know, he's very funny, Caucasian man over
Studio
there.
10, I'm Jerome Ritchie. This is Veronica Young, and Chris Markowski, the Watchdog on Wall Street, is here. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing well.
How was your Christmas?
Very,
your
very
holiday?
well. You know, I got to put some toys together. And I got a quick question.
Sure.
Who did the ordering today here at the program? Is that Mark?
Yeah, Mark does the lineup every day.
All right, you know, just out of curiosity, would you have Kenny G open up for YouTube? I mean, you're making me follow Paul? Are you nuts? How am I going to follow up with this?
You can do it. It's not like following the Beatles on the Sullivan Show, for crying out loud. You'll do just fine. So you had a good Christmas? Everything went well?
Everything went real well. We had a great time. Thank you. How about yourself?
Oh, not too bad. Not too bad. The insurance settlement's going to come in pretty soon, and we'll get all the damage taken care of. And
you got to be careful with toys nowadays because you get those Wii things that are swinging them around, and those can get clocked in the head. But
is yours a Wii household?
Yeah, I succumbed to you know, pressure from my wife, and it's going to be fun, and you can exercise on it. And I'm like, okay. And he ended up
well, let's get into it here. President-elect Obama is talking about a new financial stimulus for the middle class. What's the status on that, and how do you think it's going to play out?
Well, I figured I'm going to start my own stimulus package in my household as well, and I'm going to model it after Barack Obama's stimulus package, which is, you know, we're going to hand money off from one to the next to the next. So I'm going to start paying my kids every single time they draw me a picture in preschool and kindergarten, every single time my wife gives me a peck on the cheek. I'm going to get paid, and it's going to stimulate all sorts of economic activity in my household. I think it's all well and good that we need to build out infrastructure. I really do, and I think that some of that is important, but we got to keep it under wraps. I mean, we got to understand that if we put forward some tax cuts to some of the people that are actually providing the jobs, give incentives to businesses to hire, businesses are going to have to go out and create. I know that if I had an incentive, okay, hey, I own a business, go out and get new computers, I'd probably take advantage of that. These are the things which stimulate the economy. We need a little bit of both, a mix. We can't just have one or the other.
How about the auto industry bailout? What do you see with that?
I see, you know, I see us probably having to cut another check in a couple months, unfortunately, unless there's really significant changes made in the way they do business. 1 + 1 will never equal 10. And so far, looking at this bailout and what has been proposed, they got about $13 billion from the TARP money, which is part of that money. We are first in line as taxpayers, so if the companies do go into Chapter 11, we're going to get our money back as taxpayers. But until they fundamentally change the way they do business, it's not going to happen. The union contracts have to be changed. Also, the fact is that, you know, Washington needs to get out of the car-making business as well. I can't think of anything so silly as a $90,000 SUV, making it a hybrid, to make it a couple more, you know, fuel-efficient miles added to meet the CAFE standards. I mean, if you can afford to spend $90,000 on an SUV, do you care if gasoline's at $4 a gallon?
Really?
Exactly.
You're not making money on those types of cars. The best-selling car in America for 27 years straight is a Ford F-150. Number 2 is a Chevy Silverado last year. So we're making cars that people want to buy. We just got to make it, you know, ones that they can actually make money on. I mean, the Chevy Volt's coming out next year. This is the electric car. General Motors said, you know what, we're never going to make money on this car. Oh, okay, why are you making it? Well, they have no choice because the fuel efficiency standards that Washington puts on them.
And the people are starting, the consumers are starting to demand electric cars. You know?
But even still with that car, I mean, you're getting, if you want to go out and get that car, you're getting a $7,500 tax deduction from the government, so that's a subsidy anyway. And, you know, the car itself is going to, it's $50,000 sticker price. So you're talking $42,500. I mean, how many people honestly are going to go out and spend that much money?
Yeah.
Not to mention the fact we live in Florida. To get 40 miles on charge, you need to charge it for 6 hours. I know my wife is going to be done. She's going to be stuck in the middle now. But they have a gasoline engine to back it up, but it's just not going to, it doesn't work. Yeah.
Because I've noticed one of the things, you know, I became very interested in the hybrids, and I did a little bit of research, but let's face it, and I'm going to be totally honest, that's not necessarily something that I'm going to put my money toward, you know, so making the hybrids and going in that direction, is that something that is absolutely necessary, or should they be doing more, like changing their whole structure? I
think, you know, you do a great job on your radio show. How would you like it if the government came into your radio show and said, you know what, you've got to start playing rap music? You wouldn't like it. I mean, it wouldn't work.
That's called a consultant, actually.
It wouldn't mix with country music at all.
Exactly. So if you're the best truck manufacturer in the world, why not just make trucks? Why are you being forced to make all these different cars? Like, you might come up with a zillion analogies. If you own a great Italian restaurant, the government's telling you got to make, you know, put egg rolls on the menu. It doesn't make sense.
So, There's a lot of trickle down effect though with what the car companies do with the suppliers and so forth. And I think we touched on this a little bit. The satellite radio companies. The Sirius and XM stock is worth almost nothing now. And they're saying it's because, well, they're not making as many cars, and we can't put our radios in the new cars.
I'm saying probably because of Howard Stern and Oprah's contract. I think has a little bit to do with that.
Yeah.
Just a little bit, and the fact that, you know what, you've got to come up with a business model that's going to get you some revenues. Yeah, they put all these satellite radios in every single vehicle, General Motors vehicle. People get their 3 months. Some keep it, some don't. Radio is still free. You can listen to it all the time. And by the way, they're running advertisements now on the satellite radio. So, I mean, what's the difference between the two? And eventually people say, you know what, this is just another bill I can't afford.
Chris Markowski, the Watchdog on Wall Street, ladies and gentlemen. You can catch his show Saturday mornings on AM 1280 in Sarasota, AM 930 in Sarasota, Saturdays from 4 to 5, and AM 860 in Tampa on Saturdays from 4 to 5 p.m. Or, as always, go to watchdogonwallstreet.com. Nice to see you, and have a great New Year.
Thank you for having me.
Stick around. Don't go away. We've got more studio.